Imagine a world where grace is lethal, where every pirouette hides a punch, and every leap carries the precision of a trained killer. Ballerina 2025 isn't just another action film, it's a breathtaking fusion of artistry and assassinations. A cinematic experience that redefines what it means to be a heroine in the high-octane world of espionage and vengeance. At the center of this story is Eve Macaro, played by Ana de Armas, whose journey from a traumatized child to a deadly assassin will grip your heart and hold you on the edge of your seat. From the very first scene, the stakes are raised. Eve witnesses her father's brutal murder, an event that sets her on a path of vengeance, discipline, and transformation. But unlike typical revenge narratives, Ballerina intertwines the elegance of classical ballet with the brutality of an assassin's life, creating sequences that are as visually stunning as they are intense. Every fight feels like a dance, every movement a calculated strike, and every encounter a test of both skill and morality. But it's not just about action. Beneath the choreography and high-stakes missions lies a story of identity, resilience, and moral complexity. Eve's dual existence, ballet dancer by day, assassin by night, forces her to confront grief, loyalty, and the true cost of revenge. Along the way, alliances are tested, enemies are relentless, and the world around her is as dangerous as it is mesmerizing in this video. We'll dive deep into Ballerina, its story, characters, themes, stylistic brilliance, and why this film is capturing audiences worldwide. Whether you're here for the breathtaking action, the intricate plot, or Ana de Armas' standout performance, stick around because Ballerina is more than a movie, it's an experience you won't forget. Ballerina 2025 is a high-octane action thriller film and a spin-off set in the John Wick universe. The movie masterfully blends the elegance of classical ballet with the brutal precision of an assassin, creating a unique and visually striking narrative. At the heart of the story is Eve Macaro, portrayed by Ana de Armas, whose journey from tragedy to deadly mastery forms the emotional and thematic backbone of the film. Origin story and early life of Eve. Macaro's early life seems ordinary on the surface, but the shadow of her family's hidden past looms over her childhood. Her father was a highly skilled assassin, affiliated with a secret organization known as Ruska Roma, operating in the murky underworld of clandestine operations. The film immediately introduces a pivotal and traumatic event: the brutal murder of Eve's father by the sinister Chancellor's syndicate. This incident serves as the catalyst for the narrative while establishing Eve's emotional journey, a story steeped in grief, trauma, and an unyielding desire for revenge. From a young age, Eve demonstrates extraordinary observational skills, resilience, and survival instincts. Cinematic visuals depict her quietly learning from her surroundings, gradually developing an uncanny awareness of potential threats. These early formative experiences not only make her a compelling character, but also lay the foundation for the high-level skills she will later exhibit. The audience is invited to witness her transformation from a vulnerable child to a highly capable individual, setting up a strong emotional connection with the protagonist. Training and transformation following the attack. Eve is rescued and brought into the fold of Ruska Roma, where her training begins in earnest. This phase of the story is critical in defining the dual nature of her character. She becomes both a ballerina and an assassin. Ballet training provides her with discipline, poise, balance, and coordination skills that will seamlessly translate into her combat style. Every move she practices as a dancer becomes a tool in her arsenal as a killer, showcasing the film's inventive merging of art and lethal skill. Assassin training is equally rigorous. Eve learns firearm usage, hand-to-hand combat, stealth techniques, tactical planning, and psychological conditioning. The sequences depicting her training are stylized and cinematic, combining slow-motion ballet-like movements with sharp, lethal strikes. The choreography and camera work reinforce the idea that Eve is becoming a unique force, elegant yet deadly, graceful yet lethal. By the end of this sequence, she emerges as a fully trained operative, prepared to face the high-stakes missions ahead. Cast and character dynamics. The film features a powerhouse ensemble cast. Ana de Armas as Eve Macaro, the central protagonist whose journey drives the story. Her performance balances intense physicality with emotional depth, allowing audiences to empathize with her struggles while admiring her lethal prowess. Angelica Houston as the director, head of Ruska Roma. She serves as Eve's mentor and moral compass, challenging her choices and providing guidance through the complexities of the assassin world. Gabriel Byrne as the Chancellor, the primary antagonist. A cunning and manipulative figure whose actions set Eve on her path of revenge. His strategic mind and presence elevate the stakes of the narrative. Norman Reedus as Daniel Pine, an assassin. And son of the Chancellor, he introduces moral ambiguity and narrative tension, occasionally assisting and opposing Eve in unpredictable ways. Lance Reddick as Charon, concierge of the Continental Hotel. A key cameo that ties the film to the broader John Wick universe. Supporting appearances by Keanu Reeves, John Wick, in McShane Winston, and others expand the universe and enhance fan engagement, providing continuity while allowing Ballerina to stand independently. Setting and visual style. The film oscillates between metropolitan cities and the hidden enclaves of the assassin underworld. Locations range from dimly lit streets and abandoned warehouses to underground fight arenas and ballet studios. The cinematography and lighting reinforce Eve's dual life. Soft, warm tones in ballet sequences contrast sharply with cold, stark tones during assassin operations. This visual contrast not only emphasizes her duality, but also enhances the overall aesthetic appeal, setting a distinct tone for the film. Early themes introduced. Part 1 introduces several central themes that drive the story forward. Revenge. The murder of Eve's father ignites a relentless pursuit of justice. Identity and duality. Eve's life as a ballerina and assassin reflects the tension between outward appearances and hidden truths, resilience and survival. Her journey highlights her ability to endure trauma and emerge stronger. Moral ambiguity. Decisions blur the lines between hero and killer, inviting audiences to contemplate ethical dilemmas. The pacing emphasizes world-building and character development, allowing viewers to understand Eve's emotional and physical capabilities before the narrative escalates into high-stakes action. Impact on audience. The careful balance of character, depth, narrative intrigue, and stylized training sequences establishes Eve as a multidimensional protagonist. Audiences witness her growth, sympathize with her trauma, and anticipate her eventual confrontations. Sets the stage for escalating action and complex narrative arcs, ensuring viewers are deeply invested in Eve's journey as the story progresses into subsequent parts. Advanced training and Eve's emergence as a lethal assassin after completing her initial induction into Ruska Roma. Eve Macaro's training escalates to an intense regimen that fuses ballet with assassination skills. Ballet is no longer just an art form, it becomes a tactical tool. Every leap, spin, and controlled movement enhances her agility, reflexes, and precision. Eve's movements are rehearsed to the point where grace and lethality merge seamlessly. Assassin training covers a wide spectrum: firearms proficiency, hand-to-hand combat, tactical infiltration, stealth, and psychological conditioning. Training sequences are visually striking, employing slow motion, wide-angle shots, and close-up choreography to emphasize Eve's growing skill set. By the end of this phase, she is no longer a trainee but a formidable operative, ready to tackle missions independently. The film makes it clear that Eve's elegance is inseparable from her deadly efficiency, a defining trait that distinguishes her from conventional action protagonists. First solo mission. Testing skills under pressure. Eve's first independent mission marks a turning point. She is tasked with eliminating a mid-level operative who poses a threat to Ruska Roma's secrecy. The film provides an in-depth view of her strategic planning, scouting locations, analyzing security rotations, and improvising contingencies. This mission demonstrates her intelligence and ability to synthesize ballet discipline into tactical execution. The operation is successful but fraught with complications, including unexpected guards and environmental hazards. Eve narrowly escapes, highlighting her adaptability and sharp instincts. The sequence emphasizes both her strengths and her vulnerabilities, adding depth to her character and creating tension for the audience. Rising tensions, encounters with the Chancellor's Syndicate following her early successes. Eve begins confronting higher-level targets within the Chancellor's Syndicate. Each mission raises the stakes, introducing new challenges and ethical dilemmas. The Syndicate's influence is pervasive, and Eve must navigate a labyrinth of danger, deception, and strategic manipulation. These encounters deepen her internal conflict. She constantly grapples with the moral implications of her actions, reflecting the tension between personal vengeance and ethical responsibility. The film emphasizes that mastery of skill alone is insufficient. Eve must also navigate psychological and moral landscapes, heightening the story's thematic depth. Character dynamics and relationships. Fourth, develops key relationships that shape Eve's journey. The director, Angelica Houston, continues as a mentor, offering guidance and moral challenges that influence Eve's growth. The director represents discipline, wisdom, and the ethical code of Ruska Roma. Daniel Pine Norman Reedus adds complexity through his morally ambiguous nature. His relationship with Eve is unpredictable, oscillating between rivalry and reluctant alliance, reflecting the intricate dynamics of the assassin world. The Chancellor Gabriel Byrne emerges as a strategic, intelligent antagonist. His manipulations and foresight challenge Eve, making him a formidable presence whose influence shapes the narrative tension. Through these interactions, balances high-stakes action with character-driven storytelling, ensuring that the audience remains emotionally invested. Thematic developments. Several themes intensify during Revenge versus Justice. Eve's pursuit evolves from raw vengeance into a calculated quest, raising questions about morality and consequence, duality of identity. Her contrasting personas, graceful ballerina and lethal assassin, become more pronounced, adding both narrative and visual tension, resilience and psychological strain. Missions test her mental fortitude, highlighting the personal cost of her transformation. Moral ambiguity. Choices become increasingly complex, forcing Eve to navigate gray areas and confront the consequences of her actions. Visual storytelling reinforces these themes. Ballet sequences employ soft lighting and flowing camera work, while action sequences feature high contrast, rapid cuts to evoke danger and urgency. This interplay enhances the narrative while emphasizing Eve's dual nature, escalating action and multi-layered McShane introduce elaborate action sequences, blending hand-to-hand combat, firearms, and environmental strategy. Each mission tests Eve's adaptability and ingenuity, creating suspense while advancing the plot. A critical sequence involves navigating a crowded urban environment while neutralizing multiple targets. A tense, high-stakes operation that combines agility, strategy, and precision. The film carefully balances action with moments of introspection. Eve evaluates her progress, motivations, and the personal cost of her path, keeping audiences engaged beyond the thrill of combat. These sequences illustrate her growth, demonstrating how skill, intelligence, and emotional awareness converge in her character. Audience engagement and character growth. Eve emerges as a fully realized protagonist. Her transformation from a traumatized child to a highly capable, intelligent assassin is complete, yet her humanity remains intact. The audience witnesses her psychological development, the consequences of her actions, and her increasing strategic acumen also solidifies Ballerina's identity within the John Wick universe. While maintaining continuity, the film distinguishes itself through its innovative blend of ballet, action, choreography, and emotional narrative, laying the groundwork for the climactic confrontations. Confrontations and resolution. As Ballerina reaches its final act, Eve McCarroll's journey escalates toward the ultimate confrontation with the Chancellor and his syndicate. Throughout the film, Eve has transformed from a trained operative into a fully lethal assassin whose elegance and precision are unmatched. The climax unfolds in a sprawling, high-security urban complex, blending the artistry of ballet with the intensity of high-stakes action. Eve infiltrates the syndicate headquarters with calculated precision. Each move, inspired by her ballet training, serves a tactical purpose. Pirouettes double as evasive maneuvers, leaps allow her to navigate obstacles, and rhythmic timing ensures maximum effectiveness in combat. These sequences are not merely action set pieces, they are choreographed dances of violence. Combining aesthetic elegance with visceral impact, she faces multiple high-level adversaries, each strategically positioned to test her abilities. Eve adapts and improvises, demonstrating both mastery and ingenuity. Her confrontation with Daniel Pine adds layers of moral complexity, as he initially resists her efforts, but ultimately assists in dismantling the Chancellor's operations. The tension between ally and adversary is emblematic of the film's recurring theme of moral ambiguity. The climactic showdown with the Chancellor is emotionally charged. Gabriel Byrne's portrayal of the cunning antagonist emphasizes manipulation, intelligence, and calculated cruelty. The fight combines hand-to-hand combat, firearms, and environmental tactics. Ultimately, Eve's triumph is both physical and psychological. She dismantles the syndicate's power while confronting her grief, moral choices, and the personal cost of revenge. Thematic depth and stylistic elements maintains thematic sophistication throughout its finale. Key themes reinforced in Part 3 include duality of identity. Eve's dual nature, graceful dancer and lethal assassin, reaches its fullest expression in the climax, visually and narratively emphasizing the complexity of human identity. Revenge versus justice. The resolution interrogates the cost of vengeance, illustrating the fine line between personal justice and destructive obsession. Resilience and self-actualization. Eve's journey embodies endurance, adaptation, and self-realization, showing that true mastery requires both skill and emotional fortitude. Stylistically, the film balances contrasting visual and auditory elements. Ballet sequences feature flowing camera movements and warm lighting, while action scenes employ rapid cuts, stark shadows, and high-intensity scoring to heighten suspense. The soundtrack alternates between orchestral motifs and electronic beats, reflecting both Eve's inner world and external dangers. Reception and public reaction. Ballerina was widely praised by critics and audiences alike. Ana de Armas' performance was universally lauded for blending elegance, intensity, and emotional depth. Critics highlighted the innovative choreography that merged ballet and combat, calling it mesmerizing and emotionally resonant. Audiences responded enthusiastically. Social media buzzed with clips of fight sequences, and Ana de Armas trended globally. Box office performance was strong in North America and Europe, streaming platforms reporting high viewership after theatrical release. Fans appreciated the film's expansion of the John Wick universe while recognizing its originality and standalone storytelling, strengths and unique elements, innovative action, choreography. The fusion of ballet and assassination creates visually striking combat sequences. Unlike any typical action film. Complex protagonist, Eve McCarroll is multidimensional. Her emotional depth, moral struggles, and resilience make her story compelling beyond physical action. Cinematic style, lighting, editing, and camera techniques emphasize the thematic duality of grace versus violence, heightening audience immersion. John Wick universe integration. Strategic cameos and narrative ties span the universe while allowing new viewers to follow the story independently. Critiques and considerations. While overwhelmingly positive, some critiques emerged. Pacing, Early exposition and training sequences were viewed as slow by a portion of the audience, though necessary for character development. Familiar revenge trope. The central revenge narrative occasionally mirrors familiar genre patterns, though elevated by unique choreography and character depth, limited secondary. Character development. Some syndicate members and secondary characters receive minimal backstory, focusing audience attention primarily on Eve. Despite these minor points, the film's originality, visual style, and protagonist's depth largely outweigh criticisms, establishing Ballerina as a standout action thriller. Conclusion. Ballerina 2025 concludes as an exhilarating and visually stunning addition to contemporary action cinema. Eve McShane's transformation from a traumatized child to a sophisticated and deadly operative offers a compelling narrative of resilience, morality, and skill by blending ballet with high-octane action. Ballerina carves a unique identity within the John Wick universe while delivering an emotionally and visually engaging story. Its thematic depth, stylistic innovation, strong performances ensure the film resonates with audiences long after the final scene, solidifying its status as a modern action classic. Behind the scenes and production, insights. Director and crew. Ballerina is directed by Len Wiseman, known for his dark, stylistic action and visual storytelling. The screenplay is written by Shay Hatton, who expertly blends emotional depth with adrenaline-fueled action. Choreography. The film's unique fight ballet fusion was rehearsed for months. Ana de Armas performed many stunts herself, adding realism and intensity to the action sequences. Filming locations. The movie was shot across urban landscapes, abandoned warehouses, ballet studios, and high-rise buildings. Lighting and cinematography were carefully designed to highlight Eve's duality as both a dancer and assassin. Special effects and practical stunts. Many sequences combine practical stunts with visual effects to maintain authenticity while delivering cinematic spectacle. Music and score. The film's score combines classical orchestral motifs with modern electronic beats to match the duality of Eve's life. Ballet sequences use soft, flowing orchestral music to emphasize grace, rhythm, and fluidity. Assassination sequences feature tense electronic orchestration with heavy percussion and crescendos to intensify suspense and action. The contrast between these musical styles mirrors Eve's journey between elegance and lethal skill. Cultural and cinematic impact. Ballerina contributes to the growing trend of female-led action films, setting a benchmark for combining artistry and combat. It expands the John Wick universe, introducing new lore and characters while staying accessible to new audiences. Costume and fashion design are notable. Eve's outfits are functional for combat yet reflect her ballerina identity. Adding visual storytelling layers, fight ballet sequences have inspired online discussions and social media buzz, showcasing the cultural influence of stylized action choreography. Critical analysis and deeper themes. Duality of humanity. The film explores how trauma, skill, and choices shape identity. Eve's life as a dancer and assassin represents the tension between vulnerability and strength, beauty and violence, moral consequences beyond action. The story interrogates ethical dilemmas. When is revenge justified, and what is the cost? Resilience and self-actualization. Eve's journey emphasizes inner growth and reclaiming personal agency, making her transformation emotionally resonant. Isolation. V's connection. The film examines Eve's struggle to maintain relationships while navigating the assassin world, highlighting the loneliness of her path. Reception and audience reaction. Critics praised Ana de Armas for balancing elegance, combat skill, and emotional depth. Action ballet sequences were widely celebrated as innovative and visually mesmerizing. Audiences on social media reacted enthusiastically to fight scenes and ballet-inspired combat, creating viral clips, memes, and discussions. Box office performance was strong globally, and streaming platforms reported high viewership post-release. Potential sequels, spin-offs. Movie leaves room for Eve's continued adventures or expansion into other Ruska Roma operative stories. Rumors suggest additional spin-offs or crossovers with the John Wick universe, potentially exploring other characters or backstories with its rich world-building. The film could also inspire prequels exploring Eve's childhood or the origins of Ruska Roma. Fashion, costume, and visual identity. Eve's ballet costumes are functional for combat while visually stunning, combining aesthetics with practicality. Color palettes in her wardrobe reflect her duality. Soft pastels during ballet sequences, darker tones for assassinations. Cinematography uses contrast lighting and dynamic camera movements to emphasize the interplay between elegance and danger. Fan theories and expanded universe. Potential fans speculate about connections between Eve and other characters in the John Wick universe. Some believe secondary characters, like Daniel Pine, could return in future installments. Social media discussions explore the symbolism of ballet sequences, Eve's moral journey, and how the film might influence future spin-offs.